Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Coming up on the program this morning, because we're starting with what happened in Lafayette, 8-goal thriller between Nasarawa United and, of course, talking about the team who knows how to win with large margin. That's Abia Warriors. It was a 5-3, and Silas Nwankwo scored his first professional hat-trick for them to be able to win that game 5-3. Also on the program, Lewis Hamilton, yes, is back as if he never left, but then it was a hard-fought victory for him. He was able to overcome Max Verstappen by just 0.7 seconds for him to win the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first race of the season. And of course, the Lakers are building momentum. The Lakers acquired Andre Drummond just a few hours before they won their second game in a row since LeBron James, and of course, since LeBron actually got injured. So Lakers, you say they're really building that momentum. Andre Drummond announcement actually gave them the particular momentum. And of course, on the program, I'm starting with results coming from the NBA last night and early hours of this morning. And the big game, of course, the Lakers and Magic. Not really a big game, but because everyone has been waiting for the Lakers to see if they can build on the win they had over the weekend. And they were able to do that early hours of this morning. And Markieff Morris was the guy who get that three-pointer that they were able to have that 61-53 lead before the Orlando Magic scored 8 to tie it at 61. We'll talk more about the game much later on the program. The Suns and the Hornets, it was 101-97. The Suns tried to rally back for the late fight back, but when you have a Devin Booker leading the way for the Phoenix Suns, he had 35 points, foiling them, and of course, we were able to outlast the Hornets in Charlotte in 101-97. Chris Paul scored 16 points for the Suns, and of course his teammate DeAndre Ayton also added 14 points and 14 rebounds. The Suns have won 3 of their last 4 games and are second in the Western Conference. So the Charlotte Hornets had their 3-game winning streak actually snapped, but then there was big performance from Devontae Graham, who had 30 points. Terry Rozier had 22 points and 10 rebounds. And Miles Bridges had 18 points and 12 rebounds. But then it wasn't enough because Devin Booker put up a monster performance on the night. And also the game between the Nuggets and the Hawks, it was 126-102. For the Denver Nuggets, yes, Gordon Slam. Yeah, that's how it's called, because after they acquired him from the Orlando Magic and all that, he connected so well with Nikola Jokic for his first dunk in the opening quarter. So Denver Nuggets beating Atlanta Hawks 126-102. And it was this guy, Eric Gordon, who got the better of that team. Okay, and the game between the Portland Trail Blazers and the Toronto Raptors ended 122-117. Where for the Portland Trail Blazers, Trent struggles for the Raptors in his debut. He made his debut there. He was traded. I'm talking about Garrett Trent. He made his first debut against his former teammate, but then he was just 2 of 10 from the field and 1 of 5 from 3-point range. He had just 6 points in Toronto Raptors' loss. PJ Washington endured a rough night for the Hornets, while he collected 12 rebounds in 44 minutes. Okay. Talking about the game for the night, the Lakers, yes, why is it a big game? Yeah, whenever the Lakers is playing, the defending champions, you'll be thinking, are they going to lose or win? Why? There's no LeBron, there's no AD. But these guys are trying as much as possible to power up. But they were playing against a team that, well, have been really woeful. I'm talking about the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic trading most of their players out. You know, that's also talking about our own Alfaro Camino leaving them and joining Chicago Bulls, and some other players leaving that rank. But their woeful performance continue because for them, it was very, very poor on the night. 15 games they've won this weekend. For the Lakers, as I mentioned earlier, on the day that they acquired Andre Drummond after he was cleared the waivers. So the NBA champions topped the struggling Magic 96-93. Of course, no LeBron, no AD, but there was no problem for them. They now have back-to-back games, having dropped 4 straight games. Dennis Schroeder lived up to expectation. He put up 24 points. Kai Kuzma, also with the blonde hair, contributed 21 points and 11 rebounds. There were also double-doubles for Montrezl Harrell, 18 points and 11 rebounds. And Markieff Morris had 12 points and 11 rebounds for the Lakers. So for the Lakers, yes, one man has been talking about their overall performance. He loves it the way they put up that numbers. But then he also contributed a whole lot. I'm talking about Markieff Morris, who had 12 points and 11 rebounds for the Lakers. Let's listen to him, what he had to say after the Lakers were able to edge struggling Magic 96-93.
Was really brought to this team to to gel with LeBron and AD. Just figuring out how to win with those guys off the court. Came close to. I mean, they came close to beating us tonight, or just going into overtime. We just got to figure out and do a better job of closing games. And we're just happy about the win. Just shooting open threes, I guess. I mean, I got about 6 up, made 2. I wanted that one at the top, one of my rivalry, but I missed it. Other than that, just being physical, trying to set the tone, rebounding, just doing all the small stuff.
Well, it doesn't get easier for them because up next they'll be at Milwaukee Bucks on Wednesday. Milwaukee Bucks, they've been slumping, but then they will be facing LA Clippers tonight. Whatever happens in that game might just fuel them to see what they can get against the Lakers. Lakers, of course, won their first meeting 113 and 106. That was January. That was in January. Of course, they have the full complement of their players. Okay, talking about Orlando Magic, the coach Steve Clifford, I mean, he's really upset, disappointing performance from his team. He feels that the Lakers did not really play well, so they could have taken advantage to beat Lakers, who are really on demand. Okay, talking about Steve Clifford, I mean, he wasn't happy with his players. I mean, he had to talk about their defense and how they had so many fouls, disappointing games, mistakes that they made in the game. If they were able to put up, just some numbers on the night, I mean, reduce the mistakes that they made, they could have won the game, but the mistakes were too much, and that's why he wasn't really happy this morning. Talked about Dwayne Bacon, who led the Magic with 26 points. Chuma Okeke, yes, whenever you hear a name like that, you know, of course, he's Nigerian. He scored 14 points for the Orlando right now, 15-31. 15 games they've won this season, losing 31. So, and of course, they've dropped 13 of their last 15 games. When that happens, you understand why Steve Clifford is really upset this morning.
We fouled unnecessarily early in the fourth quarter. That's what started the whole thing. Game on the line. Again, fouling jump shooters, undisciplined defense, and missed blockouts. We had a leak out at a huge possession. We get a good defensive stop. We got a guy running out, which we don't do. And it costs us big time. 2 free throw set blockouts in the fourth quarter. So you can do good things on the road. I don't care who you're playing against. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's like high school mistakes, and it's going to crush you every time in this league. I'm not going to come up here every night and say everything's good. We didn't play that well, okay? The game was there to be won. They didn't play well at all for them the way they have been playing. They were low energy most of the game. We're not going to do that, okay? Scored 93 points, all right? So, I mean, nobody knocked it out of the park. Dwayne was really good. Chuma was good. Otto, you can see, is an experienced player. He makes a big difference when he's on the floor. He's got a lot of experience. He's a solidifier. Without Mike, we were all over the place. I mean, that's it. So, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to come up here and make stuff up. We played hard. We didn't play smart. We made a ton of mistakes. And it's hard to win on the road doing that, One thing we're going to do all the way through this now, we're not going to make stuff up. We're not. I mean, that's what bad franchises do, especially at the end of the year. We're not doing that. Guys played good. I'll say they played good. All right? Guys are learning. It wasn't that great.
It wasn't great at all. Obviously, very upset this morning for the team's failure to actually execute down the stretch, which is really important for them to win. We understand that, yes, 5 players actually left on, a trade deadline, but that is not enough. He feels they could have played better for them to be able to beat the Lakers. But for the Lakers, of course, they will be having full strength because Andre Drummond, they've signed him. He has joined the Lakers, and Montrezl Harrell has been talking about him. The fact that both played, they're going to be sharing the front court together. He's not upset about that, but he's really thrilled and happy that a player like that will be joining their ranks. Let's listen to Montrezl Harrell this morning.
I mean, he's a strong-sided player, man, on both ends of the floor, man, offensively and defensively. High caliber blocking shots, defensive rebound on the offensive end of the floor. He's a load. Guy gets down in the lane and demands his position. And, you know, you can't miss him, man. He's a big, dominant presence, and it's definitely going to be a good, you know, breath of fresh air to having him come on sideline up. You know, I think he's eager and ready to go and ready to get after it. So, I mean, that's a great attitude that, you know, anybody can have coming into our organization. So, we can't wait for him to get here, and we're going to welcome him with open arms, and hopefully just continue to keep what we're doing well right now. I haven't thought about that. It's not something for me to think about. It's not in my control. It's not something that, you know, I make decisions on. You know, people, well, us in general, everybody, human beings, we spend a lot of time wondering about the things that we can't control, that we don't have any, you know, basically any control on, man. So everything that you just mentioned is everything come from the top office and coaching staff. It's nothing to do with me. I'm going to continue to keep playing the way that I play, bringing the energy that I bring, and just, you know, hope my teammates feed off it. We got a great player, and Andre Drummond, who is going to definitely help our team on both ends of the floor and help our organization overall. But, you know, it's not something that I, you know, kind of wrap my mind on or you know, jump in my head for a million questions, because at the end of the day, I don't have the answers to them.
Well, he doesn't have the answers how they will be rotated because they play the same position at center. Okay, for Drummond, he hasn't played since February 12th, right, when he was with the Cavs, because according to the management, they said until they get a buyout or he's traded, he won't be playing. They had Jarrett Allen, who came a younger player. He's 27. That's not really old, but then that's what they want. They shut him down. They said until he will get a buyout. And right now, he's with the Lakers. I think it's a better one for the Lakers, who right now are struggling because they don't have the complement of their two big superstar players. Top performance for the day, we just had two, and of course from the same team because of the performance of these two guys. Of course, number one is Devin Booker. Whenever I have him flying with the Suns, of course, they always make the list. Devin Booker on the night for the Phoenix Suns had 35 points, 6 rebounds, and of course, 3 assists for the Phoenix Suns to beat the Charlotte Hornets 101-97. And another player, well, on the losing side, of course, their 3-game winning streak was snapped, despite the fact that he put up 30 points on the night, 1 rebound and 3 assists. Devontae Graham is the other guy from the Charlotte Hornets that made the top performance for today. All right, yeah, just celebration in Bahrain in the opening race of the season. Let's leave Formula One and quickly come home. Talk about chess. Yes, we'll talk about the Spriggles and all that. Yes, we know that's in the menu because, of course, they're having a party. Talking chess right now, I mean, there's a 7-year-old girl. I mean, when we talk about catching them young, sometimes, what you mean when you say that. I mean, she's 7 years old. I mean, she's 3-time national champion, and she plays chess. And the fact that her parents allow her to play chess and also giving her, time to go to school and everything, it's something I'm really happy about. I'm talking about Eliano Olajide. She's just 7 years old. I mean, she's a Nigerian champion, at a young age. Her profile is really, really interesting because in 2018, she actually won the Young Chess Talent Medal in 2018, 2019, and 2020. Then she was just 4, 5, and 6 years old at that time. That's at the Abuja Inter-School Chess Tournament. And I see this, I'm like, at 7. I'm trying to remember what I was doing at 7. Like, we were just playing around, focusing on trying to play some pranks and all that.
Well, there's one word for people like her, prodigy. Yeah. That's what we call them. And at 7, which means she probably started like about 2-3 years ago. You talked about 2017.
Yeah, and she was 4 when she started.
So that's amazing. That means she's been at it for about, she's almost becoming a veteran.
Yeah, at 7.
Joke, yeah. But what this should do for us is that it speaks to parenting. To a large extent.
Yes.
I'm sure she was exposed by a close family member or something. Then again, schools need to understand that we do not need to concentrate only on ball sports and stuff. Yeah. Not everybody is built for such things. So we might be able to expose children at a young age to different sports, so we find the ones that they're actually very good at. Some are very good at multitasking and learning a lot of things. And look at her playing with her peers. This will inspire other kids. is a good thing. You know, only recently I was actually walking my daughter through the pieces.
Okay.
Just 2 Saturdays ago, I was walking her through the pieces. She's 5 years old. I'm like, okay, that's the queen, that's the rook. This is how.
Is she interested in it?
You know, she's like, you need to buy a piece. I said, don't worry. You know, we'll get there. I was showing her on the computer. So this is what we need to do to push children in different angles and support them when we discover the talent, like she's doing now. I hope she gets a lot of support, you know, and the fact that it's, you talked about being able to balance education. Chess is a form of education. It allows you to calculate, you know, you're talking angles, you're talking moves and stuff. So it's another form of education in itself, and this should be encouraged across board. And the beauty of this is that it has nothing to do with class or anything. You can, wherever you are, you can play chess, whether you're in a private school or a public school and all of that. So the chess foundations, the chess federations, and every other person can actually cash in on stuff like this and push it to more people.
Yeah, which is really great. Well, you know, she said the father actually, you know, encouraged her to play chess, but the father is not a role model. You need to listen who a role model is.
My dad is very passionate about chess, so he taught me how to play chess when I was 4 years plus. My mom employed different lesson teachers for education and chess. I have a chess coach. Magnus Carlsen is the current world chess champion. He's 30 and he's from Norway. Yes, I live my husband. By practicing more often, attending more chess tournaments, I'll be good enough to represent Nigeria.
She got the dreams all sorted out. Wants to represent Nigeria at major international tournaments. When she said Magnus Carlsen, I was like, how many people even know that? Yes, international world master and all that, grandmaster and everything and all. But I was like, she was going to say maybe the father or the mother, someone close. But I mean, someone all the way from Norway. Yeah, we know Magnus Carlsen, when you mentioned chess, is the man.
I like to say kudos to our parents. I like to say kudos to our dad, for, you know, for at least exposing her to chess at an early age. And of course, your role models will also guide you. You don't even need to have one-on-one contact with them. You know, like if you ask any young girl that's playing tennis, as at last year, everybody's going to talk Serena, you know. So when you watch them, you start to want to play like them or even get better than them and all of that. Look at what's happening to Serena now. Someone that used to idolize her is beating her a lot. You know, so maybe she'll get to beat the grandmaster one of these days. The beauty of this is that I see them playing chess in our school, and which is what should be encouraged more often. We need to, you know, push them towards these things. They're very, very good games. They help you develop your mind, your thinking and everything, critical thinking. And also, this is welcome, and kudos to our parents once again.
Yeah, for doing this. Okay, let's leave it and bring you into all we're doing this morning. Talk to us on our Twitter handle. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, they're having a party. I mean, most of you were predicting 3-2, 2-1 and all that, but it was just 1-0. But then that was enough because they knew they've qualified for it. They just said, okay, let's just see what we can do in Benin Republic and all that. But the good thing is the unbeaten run everyone has been talking about in Benin, it's over. So no more unbeaten run for the Benin Republic. They've not been beaten like since 2014 and all that. Everybody was talking about that. It was only Austin who said, okay, you know what, let's leave that and just focus on the game. And Super Eagles of Nigeria went to Porto Novo, and they got just that lone goal victory. It was Paul Onuachu who got that. So tell us, you think Paul Onuachu should start the next game for the Super Eagles, or he should also come in as a sub, replacing Kelechi Iheanacho? I love the fact that Kenneth Rowe pair, you know, I saw Victor Sime and Paul Onuachu as like, okay, can you have 2 number 9s on the field of play? But he needed a goal. He knew Nigerians wanted that, and he had these 2 players, and of course, they delivered.
They delivered. It was a good thing that they delivered. It was a good thing that we got that goal in the dead, you know, of the game and everything in the 93rd minute. But you see, it wasn't like it was playing 2 number 9s. What usually happen is that one would drop for the other. If you notice that goal, Osimhen was the one in front. It was the one that actually had the first bite at the cherry. It was the one that had the first pop and tried again before he fell, you know, graciously to Onuachu. Onuachu knew what to do at the right time. Even with his height, he knew how to bring the ball down into the goalpost and everything. You know, reminded me a little bit of Gangling Rashidi Yekini with his build and his height and how he would always, you know, score with his head and all of that. This was a good result for us based on the scoreline. but it was agonizing for us. It was traumatizing. It was painful. It was nail-biting that we couldn't even convert our chances. In the first half, I saw the beauty of Osimhen's play.
Yeah.
Osimhen is a very good player. You know, he's a beautiful player to watch. You get. Kelechi was kind of off his pace a bit. I don't know what happened, but it didn't mean that he didn't play well.
Yeah.
It just also showed the quality of the opposition that we had. You know, someone asked me on Friday, "Oh, then Benin Republic will be missing a couple of players." I said, "Don't go with that excuse.
Yeah.
These guys are not easy to play. We must first of all recognize that it's difficult to play Benin Republic. It's been like that for a couple of years. That's one. You know, two. You know, it's not as if the Eagles were in camp for a long time.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have time to gel. How many training sessions did they have as a unit?
Okay.
You know, when did they arrive? Everybody must recognize that with COVID-19 protocols, traveling and all of that is difficult now. So all of these things culminated in that. Then they come to Lagos. They've not been in Lagos for a while. There's a little bit of pressure to deliver.
Yeah.
So I'm making all of these excuses. They're not excuses, but I'm just putting out facts that
some things
this must have affected the play. You know, but on the flip side, you look at Raw and say, why did the team play the way they played? Why did he wait into the 70th minute before bringing Onuachu in? You knew that as at 60 minutes that you were not going to get that goal. It was just not going to happen. And at that time, you look at your bench, you look at the array of stars you have, the quality of the players you had. You shouldn't have waited that long before introducing Onuachu into the game. You had a good backline. It was looking good, you know.
Eliano and
I know, Trust Ekong. Oh my God, that guy keeps getting better. You know? So, but you knew that you had it on lock at the back. Okoye,
the midfield
was also on point, made a couple of saves. It was on top. So the midfield, that's where he was. Like Ndidi was breaking up play. Aribo was beautiful on the ball and everything. So maybe what you needed to introduce. Then again, Chukwueze and Onyekuru, those guys were doing it. But what was left was the final third.
It was
Who
hard.
was operating there? So it was Victor and Kelechi. You could have actually introduced Onuachu earlier.
Okay.
You know, then again, you start to look at it, and this is where people got angry. You didn't even invite him at first.
Yeah.
And when you put his name, you put him on standby.
Yeah.
And I felt that was a wrong move. We need to speak the truth here. This guy has been banging in goals. He's in form. Oh, he didn't get goals the last time he played. That's not how football works. He's in form. No Nigerian player has gotten the kind of goals that he has gotten this season.
Yeah.
So how do you not invite that kind of player? You know, so I don't know what Gernot Raw was thinking, not even inviting Onuachu in the first place.
No, he said he did. It was standby list, so it was always going to get.
That's not an invitation. No. Let's look at it this way.
That, you know, you're in my mind. Yeah.
No.
You're in my heart.
No, you don't get it. This guy is scoring goals.
And so you should be number one pick
I'm
when it comes to
that's
the
why
forwards.
it is. That's why it is. We've always said it. You have a pool of players, and maybe a pool of like 80 to 100 players. Then you invite about 30 or 31. Then you bring your short list of 23 that finally makes match day and everything. And you're telling me that it wasn't good enough to be 23?
Okay.
From 1 to 23?
All right. I get that. Let's just, you know, in case you missed most of the results that happened at the weekend and all that, let's just run through all the qualifiers. Of course, we'll also talk about the teams that have already qualified now. Nigeria, Benin was 1-0. Lesotho, Sierra Leone ended goal. Lesotho, Sierra Leone, you know, they know that, yes, they haven't qualified yet. So they're going to slug it out with Benin Republic to see if they can get something out of that. Lesotho already out. Namibia, Guinea, it was Namibia winning. Chad and Mali beating Chad by 3-1. And, of course, other games, you have Ghana, Sao Tome and Principe. Ghana already qualified before they played this game, of course. Yeah, they go through. And, of course, you have Sudan joining them. South Africa would not be at the Nations Cup in Cameroon. So why Nigerians are upset that we didn't play well. But just know that South Africans, they're not going. Tanzania and Libya, it was 1-0, and Tunisia and Equatorial Guinea 2-1. Tunisia, that has qualified long ago, are still beating teams. Let's just take a look at the teams that have qualified. You have Cameroon, of course, host nation, Egypt, Tunisia, Nigeria, Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia, Guinea, Mali, Comoros Islands. That's the shocker of it. Yes, they will be at the Nations Cup for the very first time. You have Sudan also qualifying. Then you have Burkina Faso, Ghana, Gabon, Morocco, and Zimbabwe. More teams to definitely join them once the qualifiers are over by Tuesday. So we know that by Wednesday we'll have all the teams set for it. So these are still the qualified teams: Burkina Faso, Ghana, Gabon, Morocco, and Zimbabwe making up that list. Now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they are back in Lagos after a very, very long time. The last time they played in Lagos was actually a friendly, and Samson Siasia was in charge in 2011. Ahmed Musa was the only player who played that game. When was the last time they played a very competitive match? It was a long time ago, and it was even the opposite stadium where they will be playing the game tomorrow, which is the iconic National Stadium. That was the last time they played a competitive match in Lagos. But they will be returning. This report takes a look at what the players are doing and, of course, how happy they are coming back to Lagos.
Playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria in Lagos comes with its own unique experience. This is because Lagos houses the National Stadium and the Teslim Balogun Stadium, both in Surulere, where historic moments such as the 1980 and 2000 African Cup of Nations finals were played. After 10 years, the Super Eagles will grace the Teslim Balogun Stadium to wrap up their qualification campaign for next year's African Cup of Nations in Cameroon against Lesotho on March the 30th. This generation of Super Eagles look forward to making their own memories in Nigeria's most famous state, where the national team has enjoyed remarkable success.
Yeah, we're really happy. I think just being here in Lagos as well for the camp is something nice. We feel like we're close to the fans. You know, every time I've come through Lagos, I see how much football lives here.
Coming back to Lagos for me is my second experience playing in Lagos, because I've been in this stadium, I think, 10 years back. So I think for them, they will not understand that because most of the fans are not coming out to watch the game. So if all the fans are going to watch, that is when they will understand playing is in Lagos. You have to give all your best to know what you can do so that you win the game, because the fans are so crazy.
I think the grass will be okay. We will also have some fans. It's wonderful to play against with the fans, because the players are not used to it. They will be happy.
In the midst of the enthusiasm, football lovers ask that Lagos remains the home base for future international matches involving the Super Eagles.
Every national team needs a home, somewhere it can belong to. And Lagos used to be that home. Unfortunately, things happened and they had to move around, but we're happy to see them back. Now, I think the next step would now be to provide a befitting home inside the home, within the home.
Lagos is the city of football. That's why they call it the sports city. It's the city of sport entirely. So I don't think they understand. They will not be the fans to actually be in the crowd to actually make them understand that, look, when you're playing for Nigeria in Lagos, you don't lose.
The game against Lesotho will be played with selected fans in the stands owing to the COVID-19 safety protocols, meaning the players will likely miss the roar of the vociferous Lagos spectators.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at the Nigerian National League, the most important league in the nation. Okay, starting match day 9 results to get us talking this morning. We'll start with Group A1. Yes, in Group A1, it was Sokoto United beating Ohio Sports 4-0, and Mighty Jets and Taraba, it was 2-0 in favor of Mighty Jets, and the game between Gombe and EFCC Gombe winning by 2-1, and Green Beret and El Kamini Warriors, that ended goalless. And move over to Group A2, where you have Shakarau Babes and ABS, it was 1-0, and Niger Tornadoes and Kogi United 3-0. Road Safety and Zamfara United, it was 1-0, and DMD and Yobe Desert Star, DMD winning by 4-0. Mulufashi and Kebbi United 2-1, and moving over to Group B1, it's also on match day 9. You have the game between Vandreza and Stationery Stores, and it's 2-0. Mr. Rogers is right here in the studio. We'll talk about that later. Delta Force and Oshi United ended. Delta Force winning. Inewu United and Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars finally lost. I've been waiting for the day where they will lose. It'll be headline. So it's headline for me. We thought they were going to go all through the season unbeaten, but then finally they've crashed. Calabar Rovers and Giants Brillars, it was 2-0. Nilayo Sports and Dynamont Force. Nilayo Sports winning by a lone goal. Ekiti United and Goran 1-0. And Group B2, Gateway United and Abia Comet. Gateway beating Abia Comet 2-0. Crown FC and 1 Rockets ended goalless. JRTT 4, Ibom Youth 3, Benin Insurance 3, Bayelsa United 1, and Joy Comets and Godoski Joy Comets winning by 3-1, and Apex Crane and Remo Stars beating Apex Crane away from home. It was 1-0. Quickly, Shola Rogers, Van Dresser, and of course, stationary stores. Van Dresser coach left them. Stationary stores coach also left. I mean, these two teams trying to catch up, but Van Dresser seems to be more organized, beating stationary stores 2-0.
Yeah. More interesting is Remo Stars winning on the road against Apex Crane. You know, that's an important result.
Okay.
So for me, I think we need to celebrate Remo's victory.
Inewi United and Shooting Stars.
That's shocking, right?
Of all teams.
That's shocking. And I'm sorry, but I know people will come for me.
Okay.
Shooting Stars.
And stationary stores, okay, he doesn't want to talk about that.
Stationary stores.
Yes, they lost. Yeah.
Yes,
so Van Dresser right here in Lagos.
Yeah.
Agege.
Yeah.
You saw the
Stars was
highlights
the away team. So they lost on the road.
Okay, all right. The thing is that that Lagos clash, it was Van Dresser, the new club, that won 2-0.
Look, Van Dresser played a good game. They played way better than Stars.
Way better.
They deserved to beat stationary Stars. And it's painful for me, and I know you know why, but
yeah, I know.
Kudos to Van Dresser. They've been doing some great things with their branding, their organization, everything, you know. The NNL is actually looking like a very interesting league to watch this season, you know. We'll move on. Yes, we move. Let's go to Mpfl, the bigger one. Mpfl, so many goals. I enjoyed the weekend for Nigeria Professional Football League match day 18. So let's start with the 5-goal thriller. 8-goal thriller in Lafayette. Nasarawa United and Abia Warriors was 5-3. Plateau United and Rangers, Plateau winning by 2-1. Aqua United and Lobby Stars, Umfomudo with a brace there, beating Lobby Stars 3-0. Kano Pillars and Heartland 2-1. The captain was on score sheet there. Casino United and Kwara United, yes, they know they need to stay top, so they won by 2-1. Warrior Wolves and Ifeanyi, Warrior Wolves getting back now 3-1. They won. Rivers United, it was just Godwin and Goodall gave them that early goal, and they beaten Sunshine Stars. Seems scanned by a win. They lost Adamawa and Wiki Torres. That game ended goalless. Quickly, the game that will get us talking will be the game between Plateau United and Rangers. Yes, that game. Plateau United, whenever they're playing, you expect them, especially at home, after the little wobble they had playing on the continent, and of course, they've been able to grow into the league and trying as much as possible to push forward as best as they can. That's the first goal right there that they scored, just getting it on the way, knowing that they are playing against Rangers, who can be very dangerous on the road. Yeah, so Rangers are good travelers, and they're not a small team. And all of that, you know, they have pedigree in the league and even in Nigerian football. And this is a good result for Plateau United, you know, being able to put 2 past the Rangers, although they ended up conceding 1, you know. And this way, it leaves the league open, and things are still, regardless of the fact that Kwara have been consistent, Nasarawa doing very well, and all of that, you know, you start to wonder when Enyimba play all their games, maybe they were able to break into at least that category of top teams in the league, you know. But the most interesting part of this is Sunshine for me. It's Sunshine, how they are setting a record. I'm sure it must be a record, you know, back-to-back defeats. Then again, being sent away from their traditional home to Lagos, and even in Lagos, it continues. It's not looking good for them at all. Then FC Mpfl, I don't know what's happening with them.
Yeah, that's another
team. They've not been top of the league stuff, but they've always been there, you know, doing okay. But this season, not looking good for these two teams at all.
Okay, let's get reaction from Abdul Makaba talking about this game, what they had to do to ensure that they got that victory over Rangers International.
He made a side that is highly disciplined and so tactical, and at the end we are able to overcome them. I'm very, very happy about that. My boys played so well right from the blast of the whistle to the end, and they played to instructions. I hope they keep it up, because they fight to make sure they earn the 3 points at stake. We play like we play at home. Anywhere we go and play, we play the same way, and we create the same number of chances. Only that we are unlucky, I believe, is psychological, and we are working seriously on it to make sure that our boys believe that a game of football you can win in any field.
Okay, quickly, let me just read 2 or 3 tweets before we go to the papers. Noble Flyerman says Eagles looked so compact on Saturday and Benin wanted a goalless draw. However, Ross seemed to get the tactics right this time. And congratulations to the Niger for the qualifications. I would love to see Wala play in Lagos. Yeah, okay. So they also want him to be in Aimba to stay another season. HKZ says, I believe the starting 11 for Nigeria was okay. I would start them again. Onachu should come from the bench until he gains more confidence. He's a good player, but he needs to inspire confidence in himself and his teammates. Okay? And Idasogo says, that young girl will be a great chess player. She's so sure of her moves. Let's give her all the encouragement she needs. And okay, Bosun says, say for Onachu goal for lackluster performance from the Eagles, they better bring their A game to Lagos to placate to the fans. Okay, do I have time for papers? Sporting Life, that's the only one I'll just take this morning. And for COVID-19, further test for Iwobi today. NFF seek to confirm first result in Benin. Of course, he remains in isolation, so he may be doubtful for that game. And this one, well, just not a good one. Laloko is dead. I mean, former NFF technical chairman. He's gone. That's a sad story this morning. Very sad. Yeah. Mr. Rest in peace. Okay, Shala Rogers, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a great day.